3D6 down the line. Okay. Episode, what was it? 49. 49 in the books. 49.
John said there's an onus on us.
Yeah.
I don't want an onus.
You better make it good for everybody. It's episode 50. Can't make this a shopping episode, guys.
No, I would love to make it a shopping episode. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Could really use a good shopping episode.
Totally. Yeah.
You guys, we could just turn around, go back to Lida's little place. With a little elbow grease, we could we could turn it.
Well, you know what? You clean that place up, and that's a pretty good safe haven.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a one-way entrance, easily defensible. All right.
I think we're going to go through one of these doors, man, and end up on a ferry road in Dolmanwood. That's what I think is going to happen next.
That would be actually, John. That would be great.
Don't give the commenters any idea. Now everyone's just going to be talking about that. Do it, John. Do it. That'd be amazing.
Well, I have to say I'm very proud of myself for not dying this session. That's
good job, buddy.
Yeah,
did a very good job.
You've been exactly one episode without a death in the party.
Yeah. Well, you guys are. I mean, the key on the end of the stick is the ultimate in paranoia. Like that was so nice. I was like, man, someone has learned their lessons. I'll tell you what.
Not Mort, man. He keeps being like, "Well, I got in provision. I'll go first."
Yeah, Mike keeps going. You have 1 hit point, man. 1 hit point.
I know. But
wait, I think you have 2, don't you? Because you had one. Wait, you had one when Av brought you back. We haven't rested since then. We haven't rested since then.
That was literally this morning, man. That was this morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But no, you guys played great though.
Actually, smoking like from that Claymore mine thing.
Let me check here though with rooms. You might have. Did you get the feat for rooms? Let's see.
Well, it depends on whether or not you're counting those 2 antechambers on the end, right? Because
no, you did.
They were rooms that we'd seen but hadn't explored. So explored
that's kind of the thing, right? Because we never really did anything in the Hall of the Trials. We had gone and found the magical item in that one antechamber with the rock fall, right? Yeah. We hadn't really explored the hall, right? So we explored the hall, we explored the antechamber to the west, we explored her hobbit hole. And then we haven't explored this room that we just got to.
Yeah, so it doesn't count. Even if I counted the antechambers, you didn't make it. So
yeah,
that's okay though. You just still made it. You made some cool connections, like basically like 3 connections actually. I think right, two at least. And
physical connections or mental connections.
Physical. I was talking physical, but I was going to say actually that you were actually able to determine a lot about what you think the ritual, or how people move through here a lot. So
and Hammer Arden up there, man. That's the first trial you got to go through to even enter. There's got to be some legionary uniform insignia you got to have, or the password or something, and so only the faithful get in. They come. Boy, that's a weird.
Think about that though, man. That's weird because a whole bunch of legionaries that were not Arden supporters got down into this whole cavern and started killing everybody, right? Like this, as far as we've been able to figure out, is the only egress into this entire Arden dedicated section.
Right. But there's 2 barracks down here, at least. One barracks has a bunch of dead people in it, and one barrack is
Did we lose John?
No, he's right there. I can see him.
Oh wow, weird. Okay.
Yeah, he's even moving.
Yeah, sometimes he moves.
What?
He just
we're very still for a second.
Oh, was it? No, I'm just listening to you guys.
Disappeared on my screen. He disappeared on my screen. I was like, oh, weird.
Anyway, one of the barracks is totally empty. No bodies in it. I'm thinking that's a barracks full of rebels, right? That came out and started trying to murder the other guys. Something like that.
Maybe.
Or that was with the defenders when the people got in. I don't know.
Maybe, but there's the whole barricade set up in that one room.
A good point. Yeah, there's a barricade.
You seem to be going afield from what your original theory was. In my mind.
Who? What?
Oh, about this, being the the flow in reverse of the supplicants. But we were talking about, with the the guys who would stay there.
Who the combatants were is what I feel like.
Right. We had basically legionnaires we believe to be on either side of the big schism, and they're fighting. But Mike's point was, if there's legionnaires, with their uniform or they have the password or whatever, they're going to have that whichever side of the schism they're on, and they still got smashed by Hammer Arden there. So either some got through, or what?
They weren't meant to come out. Like if these guys came out this way, they weren't meant to come out.
Oh, maybe by being rebels, she smashed them as they came out. Survivor, she's like, the fuck with you guys, and splats them because they're bad.
Again, it feels weird.
Yeah, so the nature of the door, of the stone door itself, should be a pretty good clue for you guys, right? Like the fact that you were, from your end where you came, no effort at all to get through. Right.
But this is clearly the entrance into the temple complex or the ritual complex. You have to pass the word of Arden or something, speak the command, it opens the door. Speak friend and enter, you get in. You go through the purification and the tests and so on. Maybe, yeah, but then you're just stuck in here. Like, how do you get out? What do you do as a legionnaire? Where are you legioning?
Right. So you have to
Guardians.
Chad, you're definitely thinking along the right tracks and asking the right questions. There's you've seen signs, right? Like that there is gated access for anyone who wants to come in. Right. I'm trying to do this without like just giving stuff away. I'm just kind of surmising. What you guys
gated access. You got
that. For people to come in who want to come in and know something, right? But then there's also the presence of the cult itself, right? The legionnaires who were dedicated to Arden,
defending them,
and stationed here. Exactly, right. So there's sort of like the publicly accessible parts, right? And then there's sort of like the deeper chambers where the cult's business was what took place, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the soldiers would come down here and guard stuff, right? But they'd go back up north and east to rest and chill and stuff.
But you can see here that just based upon, sorry that the audience can't see it because we're all looking at the map here, but looking at the section that you've been exploring the past couple of sessions here, that these appear to be like the publicly accessible. Like if you just look at the way that the rooms are arranged with their doors, right? You can kind of see that you can basically go anywhere, or at one point you could, right? So there's, you're going to have to determine on your own what the path someone was probably prescribed to take.
Right. Which we've been talking about. My point is like we've got hand-to-hand combat between legionnaires. We're pretty sure in the barracks portion, the deeper cult portion, and officers that have been stabbed in their beds and their wives killed and things like that. The only known exit out of there is a secret door that we came in through that maybe one of the officers took to get out, but probably not. Because we found the key, right? Or no, it was a ring that we found in the sort of cloister chamber there. So either somebody got in, some force got in, and they had a fight with an outside force, or it was, amongst themselves within the temple.
Split down the middle. Yeah.
So the thing I was going to mention, Ted, is that we're forgetting some of the other clues, right? Okay. We had the note in the officers' quarters saying that they were commanded to stay and fight. So we know there was an outside force that was going to be coming in, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
And then we also found the graffiti way back in that first room that we came in, where they were like, the goddamn Pentarch, got us all killed, blah, blah, blah. Those are the dudes, those guys that were mad, I think are the ones who maybe murdered the officers in their bed kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think we're both right. I think we're both right. Exterior force was coming in. The guys that were left here to defend it were pissed, probably were fighting because they had no choice, but then maybe they also fragged their officer because he was a jackhole.
Well, that could be, although that doesn't feel like, the faithful, right? The people who've passed the trials and they live down here in the temple to jack their own officer. Unless they were already fighting amongst themselves.
I have a theory. And I think it is fighting amongst themselves. I think half of them were like, this sucks. We're done. He lied to us. We're not getting reinforcements. And the other half stayed loyal. They tried to come out this way, right? They tried to get out. The statue smashed them. And so they went back and fought the other guys.
Oh, that could be.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we tried to get out and we couldn't, right? This is the thing that's keeping them from being able to get out.
Maybe.
There are a lot of them there. If it's the only way out, it would make sense that if they gave up, like, hey, yeah, screw this, we're leaving, they would try to get out this way, and then they couldn't, so they'd have to go back. And
there's also the strange mystery of the importance of Phocaion and that corpse of that woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there
finger.
So there's the missing finger, the fact that her corpse was deposited in front of the destroyed statue of Phocaion in the hall with the worthies, right? But then it was actually Phocaion's seat that allowed access to the secret treasury in the cloisters, right?
Right.
So there seems to, I'm just pointing it out just in case you may have.
I mean, I don't think, going down up and over through that hallway through his seat, through the seat of the builder, right? I think we're going to have to do that to figure out this mystery, but I don't see us having any motivation to do that until we
you're trying to piece it together mentally. I'm just saying that don't forget that Onweir through his own David through his own intelligence deliberately looked for Phocaion's seat in the cloisters and discovered that thing, right? That there was something there, but it didn't appear that it had ever been disturbed or anything like that recently.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think that's an exit or anything. I'm sure that's just a little treasury vault.
Yet the finger of this woman, strangely, was cleanly amputated, and then weirdly the corpse was, just dumped in front of this statue, and that statue was defaced and broken.
Right.
So, it's just,
which is why I think. So one of my thoughts about that is that the actual relics are in that treasury room behind the seat, and the fake relics are what the guys have been guarding all that time, and they got pissed off about that.
How would they know? They wouldn't even know. They wouldn't have any way to tell.
Maybe they did start looting that room, and we're like, this is supposed to be a +10, hammer of destroying, and it just bounced off of this statue here, and then she smashed him, and they're like, that's fake. I mean, I don't know.
So don't forget though, in the fake treasure room, right, with all the bodies, there was blood on the weapons of those statues.
Right. And I'm saying, like, if they'd been real relics, of real power, they might have been able to fight the statues or something.
Right. You know, one thing, guys, is like, we're so intent on trying to get out the way we're going, and I love that. There are these other passages over by the spaceship that we never fucking went down. And
very true.
And for all we know, this one right here to the east just goes right out the door. So I would almost, oh God, we got to go back through. Lida will never make it. She'll never go up there.
She won't go east. But Mike, remember the bonus that Yakin's coffer gives us is that constructs can't attack us.
Oh,
true.
Right? Like they literally cannot.
That's pretty awesome.
That does not necessarily mean we want to go this way.
I forgot about that too. Please remind me.
Yeah. Constructs cannot attack us.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's remember how it saved us up in the Frozone layer, and
where is my super suit?
Yeah, it is kind of funny. It's amazing. This level is so amazing because it's got such a good mystery. There's multiple. I don't know. It just, you guys are very. You're handling it very well. You've got a very focused intent. What's so funny though is like the whole shuttle hangar bay has sort of been like, yeah, that thing. You know?
That's gonna kill us. We're not going there.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, John, did we not try hard enough at the shuttle bay? You
totally
we
did.
Tried.
I'm just looking at the map here, and I'm like, yeah, there's just this, like the oddest thing on the planet Earth is just sitting there like 100 feet away. You know what I mean?
Does the droid not count as a construct?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
You'll have to do some further experimentation. Please go back to the hangar bay and experiment. I'm dying to know what you do.
But we kind of got a little bit jacked up on that door anyway, because you basically were like 2 crowbars, you get 1 roll. If you don't make it, that door is staying like head size, right? Yeah. And we didn't make it. So like, what else can we do there without heavy?
I have some thoughts about that. Well, heavy equipment, obviously, but
oil up the goblin.
I'm hoping if we come back at some point wait a minute. We come back at some point with a little more, I guess we don't have a wizard currently, but boy, if we did, what I'd like to do is put a wall of stone in there and expand the wall inside the opening, right? Create the wall like in there.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it would just totally smash that. I mean, it's a one-shot deal. You can't close it after that.
Well, you could also like dimension door in there and shit, right?
You don't have Wall of Stone, of course, but just to be clear, once David's back in force, you do have a magic user. First level magic user.
Is that what he is now?
Or we could also just
he's an elf.
We could also just shove our assassin into this room and then see what fate brings us.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
I am curious about those 2 passageways up there too, because we didn't really explore them. We don't know where they go.
Yeah,
that one goes up. Yeah,
it's weird because like it's a dugout passage in the middle of like it doesn't fit. One of these things is not like the others,
Yeah.
Also, what about the snake dudes in this area? Like, what do we remember about the snake dudes?
Oh, these are not. They're lizard men. I should be clear.
They're lizard men.
They're not like Yuan Ti. They're lizard men.
And we have never we've never come across these. Like these aren't like
No.
We've heard about like a frog people though.
Yes.
These they were clearly described as frogs, not lizards. Right?
Yeah, these are like your classic lizard men, right? Like with like sort of lizard face, like gecko sort of faces,
right?
Not gecko, lizard, fucking lizard men. They're lizard men. You know what lizard men?
Lizard guys. Yeah. Everybody knows what those guys are like.
Yeah. You have a David or Onweir, I guess. Actually, that's true. Onweir was the only person that actually saw like a real representation of what you assume are the hoppers, right? That have been referred to
secret pyramid.
In the secret pyramid, yeah. And that knowledge basically died with him. I mean, meta, you can still work on it, but
it's not like he ever shut up, John. I'm sure he told us about it a dozen times, right?
To brag about it, sure.
So
remember that time I found that secret pyramid, guys, and I saw those cool hopper dudes.
But nothing about that weird oily statue in that secret pyramid lines up with what those bodies were at all. Like totally.
Right,
okay. Yeah.
There's a high body count in this room with the hammer Arden. Really high body count in there, man.
And a mix.
Well, see,
and that weird mechanical thing, that weird mechanical spider too. Keep that in your back pocket for.
Yeah, who would have brought that in? It makes me wonder. Like, I'm not usually one to think, maybe we try to rest a little bit, but maybe we try to rest a little bit before we go through this. Because if there are lizard men, like fresh living, murder you lizard men on the other side of that, that northern door up there, maybe we want to be a little bit more healthy before we do that.
So what would you want to do? Would you want to just camp in like in her hobbit hole?
No, like right here in these stairs, because we've got this door that's protected by a murder bot, and we've got a locked door on the other side.
When you wake up, you just cast as many healing spells as you possibly can.
Yeah. I've got 2 cure light wounds, and Lisbeth has 1, and I can do a level. No. For if we rest.
If you rest, so you can't cast. You don't have anything to cast before you go to sleep.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Right. So if we slept, that would be 3 first level cure light wounds, and Av could pack cure serious wounds. which is only 1d6 better, but it's something.
Pretty good, man. Now, one thing that we got to worry about though is food, right? Because now we have, assuming David is here next time, how many rations did we get worth of fish?
We have 6. We gave her 1, so we have 5 rations of fish.
And you and David should both have starting rations as well, right?
We do.
Yeah, so we have some time.
So I've got 7. David, I assume, has 7, and then 5.
So you're
Can
better.
we just kill your character every week just for free rations?
Kill your character every week.
That's working the system right there, baby. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Good stuff to think about. We'll discuss it all over Discord and figure out what you're gonna do. Yeah. And then big episode 50. So make sure the plan is something exciting. you gotta give the people
no pressure.
No pressure.
We rest for the entire session.
We start renovating our hobbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
John, we rest and share backstories.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
John, I've got my exposition here. Do you want me to read it now?
No, I do not. You can certainly post it somewhere but not mid-session. All right.
Apparently, both Avaricio's parents died, and he was raised by wolves.
I haven't heard that one before.